Hey everyone, and welcome to part 9 of creating a C# RPG game. So in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys how to set up a simple deselection system by double clicking off of an enemy. So if we have an enemy selected and we want to deselect them by clicking anywhere else on the screen where an enemy is not currently, or there's no other object that we can select, we want to make it so if we click twice in a short amount of time that it deselects our enemy, or you could actually set this up for any object you want. Or if you wanted to, you could keybind it to like escape or something along those lines. But yeah. Also, before we get started with this, I just wanted to go over some stuff from the last tutorial. Someone pointed out in the comments that I was missing curly brackets for this piece of code here, and that was causing this to not get called. So if you guys ran into any issues, that's probably something that would have been causing it. Another thing, I just wanted to add in a couple of things to improve this code a little bit. So we're going to be changing auto attack current time to 0 for the angle and else statement here for distance. That way, when we go out of range or we're not facing our enemy, it turns off that auto attack time or resets it to 0. So this way people, if they're trying to exploit the game maybe by getting in extra auto attacks by looking away and looking back or something like that, or if they run away from the enemy and come back and get an instant hit, most of the time you want to just reset those numbers. And if we scroll down here really quick, I want to add one more thing here, so that when we actually go and select our enemy and call the auto attack function for the first time, this is going to be just selecting an enemy like normal. But if we end up if we start attacking the enemy, we don't want to be able to left click and turn off that auto attack after it's been selected and you start attacking. You want to make it so if you click them again, it's not just going to turn that off. So I added in a simple thing here where selected unit equals null. So the only way we're going to say can auto attack is false is if that's null and that we selected it with the left click. So yeah, let's get on to creating the simple system for double clicking off of an enemy. So we're going to be adding in 2 new variables, and we're just going to be setting up a timer for this as well like we did in the previous one. But we're going to be using double click timer and did double click. So this one we're just going to be checking if we've clicked twice, and this we're just going to be counting down the time that we have to click again. So the first thing that we want to set up is our actual timer itself, and this is going to be inside selected unit does not equal null. So if we have an enemy currently selected, then we want to call this. So if double click timer is greater than 0, we want to start counting down. So if we end up clicking off of an enemy in any way, shape, or form, we actually want to run this, which will change double click to false, which is going to, after we call this function, which will go down to our selected target, we want to actually jump down. And so if we're selecting something that's not an enemy, so else is going to be, we click no object, we click no tag object that we could select, it's going to go in here. So we're going to make sure that we do have something selected, and we actually want to check if double click equals false. So if it currently equals false, this is going to be the very first time that we click, and it's going to change this to true and start our timer. So if we add this, it's going to start counting down like the code up here says. Let's see here. Yeah, so we're just going to be counting down, and if it counts down and it reaches 0, it's going to reset that, which is something we want to do if the player did not click in time. So this, you can change this piece of code if you want them to have to click really fast, or if you want to give them more time to double click. So if they end up clicking something that is not an enemy for a second time as it starts that timer, we're going to be deselecting the current enemy. So what we want to do is say selected unit equals null. So what null is it's just going to, if an enemy is selected it's just going to erase it, get rid of it. There's going to be no object selected, no game object selected in that slot. And then we're just going to change double click to false. We're going to reset that, and we're going to reset these two variables down here. So, yeah, we also want to add an auto attack hurt time, because we also want to reset our auto attack as well in here like we did in the other ones. So yeah, that's a basic way to set that up. We can jump into game real quick and test that. So I'm just going to select my player again, and we're going to select our enemy. Now we can see here for the game object our enemy is selected. I can click once and you'll see the timer and did double click start counting down. If I just click once, but if I double click twice, you're going to see that it becomes deselected. So if I try attacking, it's not going to happen. If I click again and start attacking, you'll see the health go down, but as soon as I double click off of it, start attacking, nothing happens. And you can see that everything gets reset how it was before. And yeah, that's a simple and easy way to set up a system where you can deselect an enemy. And the cool thing about this is it just doesn't interfere with, dragging and moving around. So if you're attacking and dealing damage and you want to, move around, move the camera around and still be able to attack without deselecting an enemy, that's an easy way to set that up.